All right, and we're back with the grand final, Sam. You just lost to Nick.
I did just lose to Nick.
How was it?
His team is very, very good. I really struggle against the Charizard because it has Heat Wave and the big, what's that called? The focus of my team is being able to use redirection moves, but Heat Wave hits both Pokemon, so it doesn't matter if I redirect away or just switch the position of my Pokemon because it's going to hit both my Pokemon anyway.
Yeah. Me and Cody before were just talking about how those game 2 you got max airstreamed. Yes. But it was funny that you both used Helping Hand instead of Follow Me.
Yeah. So I actually don't remember what Seo's team is here, but Nick is going to be leading with the Gyarados and so the big thing on Seo's team is the Mudsdale. It's going to have Assault Vest and it also has Stamina. So it's going to try and get really, really high defense stats and then use Body Press. And Body Press is a fighting type move that uses the defense stat instead of the attack stat. So you don't have to invest into attack for it.
So it just gets really strong.
It just gets really strong, yeah. So Whimsicott has a move called Beat Up.
Yeah.
Hits 4 times. Mudsdale's defense increases every time it gets hit. So you hit it 4 times, defense increases 4 stages, and then it uses a move that calculates with its defense.
Okay.
So Nick has to have a plan to deal with the Mudsdale here.
Is that just an ability of Mudsdale when it gets hit, or is that
Yeah, it's Mudsdale's ability called Stamina. And so basically the plan to deal with the Mudsdale here that you need is you're going to need something to take it out quickly, because the longer the game goes, the stronger it's going to get.
So it's a problem.
Yeah.
Does Nick have anything to take that?
So Nick's real answer to the Mudsdale is probably Gyarados. So you might see him leading with Gyarados.
I think he is leading with Gyarados.
Okay.
I like Nick's trainer card because it really reflects Nick himself. He is a very jolly fellow. Yeah, yours, we talked about that one. It's a questionable choice. I do like the Shuckle on it. Shuckle's my favorite Pokemon, so I wish he was viable in competitive play, but he's like ×4 weakness to everything, right?
He was viable in competitive play a little over 10 years ago, maybe like 12 years ago. And there was a much smaller Pokemon pool. So Nick did lead with the Gyarados here to try and beat the Mudsdale, but there is no Mudsdale, so Seo could have made that read.
The Mudsdale's alive.
The Mudsdale's alive. But the Gyarados Intimidate will take down the Lucaria's attack. Lucaria is a physical Pokemon. I'm actually super interested to see the set on the Salazzle here, because Salazzle is not a common Pokemon in the meta.
It's funny, because my Lucario is based on special attack.
Yes.
So it's cool to see a Lucario on the other end of the spectrum.
Most Lucarias are actually this build, which is also, they have a move that combos with the Beat Up from the Whimsicott. So it's the same thing as the... their ability is the same as the Mudsdale ability, but instead of increasing defense, it increases attack.
Okay. Right, so that makes sense.
So you can lead with your Whimsicott and then either the Lucario or the Mudsdale, depending on if you want an offensive or defensive option.
Okay, so the Whimsicott's basically like a key factor of the build. Which I think you were telling me before that a lot of people are using Whimsicott.
Yes. So Whimsicott has an ability that makes all of its non-damaging moves automatically go first.
Yeah.
So then you can use Tailwind, which will double your team's speed. So Whimsicott's a very useful support Pokemon.
There's a Dynamax on Lucario. Which I think they could have did a really cool Gigamax on it.
Well, there might be one at some point.
Oh, they can add them?
That's the point of the Gigantamax thing is it's going to be rotating to keep the meta fresh.
Oh. So the original ones that they released are going to get changed?
Yeah.
So they'll get taken away, but they'll add new ones. Why is no one using the Apple? The Apple one's cool.
Because it's not legal yet.
Oh.
Yeah, so they release them, they give you some time to figure them out before they actually phase them into the competitive
so is the
play.
Snorlax one like a new release?
No, the Snorlax came out like last month, and then it...
Oh,
so they come out, you can catch them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, then they go live online.
Alright, now I understand.
So because Seo thought that Nick was going to lead with this Indeedee here, he probably picked the Salazzle so he can use the Heat Wave to get around the redirection move.
But Nick's... I think he's Dynamaxing the Gyarados and he went with Slipstream.
With Max Airstream? I don't know, we'll see. So I actually didn't catch the item on the Gyarados here, but that would tell us more about what kind of build it is. If it's going to be fast or bulky.
Is Gyarados like a normal Intimidate Pokemon? I saw a couple tonight with Moxie.
So Moxie's the hidden ability on Gyarados. Gyarados, it depends on like what your team comp is trying to do. If you're trying to set up around Gyarados and then just sweep them with it, you probably want Moxie, and you can use a bulkier build, but Intimidate's better if you're going to be switching in and out a lot. Ooh. So Gyarados one-shots the Lucario here, and that was unexpected.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the Lucario to go down.
That's this comes from me being pretty new to this. I don't really know the calcs here. That's a big advantage that Nick has over the rest of the people here is like James, who's Seo. I don't know how to pronounce this. Is it Seo? Is that right? Seo. So James is coming over from other competitive games, but he's new to Pokemon. So like
he's like me.
He's new. So he played card games and stuff. But so the big advantage Nick has coming into this tournament against people like us is Nick has been playing so long, so Nick has like a general idea of the actual calculations that are going to go into effect. So Nick is like, whereas I'm kind of guessing, like if I use the move into the Lucario there, Nick knows from experience like if that's going to one-shot the Lucario because he knows all the stats. I feel like
Nick's kind of like the Rain Man of Pokemon where he just knows all those stats right off the top of his head. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. He's Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover when he's at the poker table. He's like, okay, I got it.
Because a big part of this game is actually like knowing what Pokemon you're gonna expect in the meta and like memorizing all your. So if it's like, oh, if you have a Lucario with max HP stat and my move from this, like you have to actually like learn all of your calcs, as they say, and there's programs that can do that for you.
I think Nick's very good at that, like just getting hung up on a certain topic and learning everything there is about it. I do like the Galarian Weezings.
So Salazzle uses Will-O-Wisp here. Will-O-Wisp is an interesting move. So this is another thing that you have to memorize, is that Burn halves physical attack.
Yeah, I was told that before.
So Will-O-Wisp is a useful move to hinder physical attackers because...
But is this Gyarados a physical attacker?
Gyarados is a physical attacker, yeah.
Interesting.
Burn's a useful move to hinder physical attackers because there aren't really many ways in VGC to cure status conditions. So like if you use a move that would lower their attack, they can just use a max move to increase their attack again or boost it. It's like a Decorate or something, but Burn is going to be a permanent attack.
Is there a reason why he's not killing the Salazzle with like a max water stream?
Is there a reason he's not killing the Salazzle?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because it's super effective against Salazzle, so wouldn't it? And he's honestly faster.
Nick has played against this team before, and he knows that the Salazzle has a focus sash on it.
Okay.
Which could be a reason for not killing.
So he's just trying to like make it the last man standing type deal? Okay.
Because then when it's the last Pokemon, it'll get one attack. You can do 2 attacks into it, and then hit it down to the sash and then kill it.
That makes sense.
And I'm also just assuming he doesn't find it very threatening because it clearly is only using Heat Wave here. So he's seen it use Heat Wave a couple of times. So he might think that it's Choice Spect, which is a move that increases your special attack, but it only lets you use the first move you selected. So he could see
found that out the hard way with my Crawdon.
So he could see that it's locked into the Heat Wave, and then he knows that the Heat Wave, that Gyarados resists the Heat Wave, so it doesn't. He doesn't need to get rid of the
Spect, then can you just kill it?
What do you mean with Choice Spect?
Like the one you use the same ability each turn.
So it's probably better to get the most out of your moves that are going to be doing. Like so, if the Salazzle isn't really very threatening, which it doesn't appear to be, he can get rid of the Weezing, which is a really scary Pokemon.
Oh, is that a shiny Boomscott?
That is a shiny Boomscott.
I like his little blue ears. What's that?
So Switcheroo switches the items from your Pokemon and their Pokemon. So the item that the Whimsicott had is an eject button.
What does that do?
It says the first time you take damage, it switches your Pokemon. So the Whimsicott's going to give him the eject button and then hit him to force him to switch out. And when a Pokemon switches out, all the changes to their stats are neutralized.
Oh, okay.
So all of the...
So there goes Gyarados.
Yeah. So all of the speed boosts that Gyarados had. So Gyarados had 2 max airstreams. So his speed is double. Because every time you airstream, it's a 50% increase.
Gotcha.
So like every time you see the little things go and it says like their attack raised, that means 50% increase.
So do you he already used Seo?
Yeah, Seo.
Already used his Dynamax, so Clydesdale of Pokemon isn't that big of a threat this game? Or?
What? I don't know what that is. The what? What'd you say?
Clydesdale.
What's
the giant horse?
Mudsdale.
Mudsdale.
Yeah.
But we don't even know if he has
We don't know if he has it. Oh. So the DD follow me is here, which isn't going to redirect the heat wave, but that doesn't matter because he knows he's killing the Salazzle before it gets a chance to use the heat wave.
Didn't DD live for a long time?
DD did live. And DD is
He did live indeed.
So Nick's in a very commanding position here. I wouldn't be surprised if
he just runs.
James just concedes here to get into the next game, yeah. Because Whimsica's supportive Pokemon is not very offensive.
Yeah.
Any 3 of Nick's Pokemon could 1v1 it.
The battle's canceled, yeah. So good game 2. We'll
I definitely should have been taking notes. It would have been a lot easier to talk about things. So we're going to have to see a readjustment from Sayo here. On which he brings. But first they're going to switch. Give me your pen.
No.
Okay. It's actually like super hard to do this without taking notes.
Do what?
Yeah. So a lot of times
It's Kismet.
You will see the person who wins the first game just run back the same 2 Pokemon they used because they know it won. So like the other person is under pressure to
try
to make the adjustment. So it's very possible we just see Nick send the Gyarados and Indeedee out again and say, find a way to deal with this.
I'm kind of hoping that Nick does a little bit more flair than that. Sparkle.
So if I'm Sayo here and I saw the Gyarados Indeedee come out, well, we'll see when we see his team. I can kind of talk through what we think he might do to approach that lead.
I like Mimikyu.
So a good option he has here is he could take the Mimikyu. Mimikyu has Trick Room. So Trick Room switches all the speed priority, so it would negate the speed boosting from the max airstream that the Gyarados would get.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what he's doing. He's leading Mimikyu.
They set up a Trick Room?
Yeah. Because he saw the... So there's actually 2 reasons here. So he's going to send out the Mimikyu. Mimikyu can Trick Room and reverse the airstream if he tries to airstream.
Nick looks a little great.
And Mimikyu also gets its... the ability of Mimikyu is Disguise. So the first hit it takes, it negates and then just like takes a little bit of damage. So you're going to guarantee live 2 hits. So you can guarantee you set up your Trick Room and then you get another attack.
Can he be flinched through that? I don't think Nick's Pokemon have that, but can he? Sorry.
So Mimikyu can be flinched, but it's a ghost type. So the main thing that would flinch is Fake Out, and so it doesn't affect you. And then we see the Weezing here just because Will-O-Wisp is, again, a really good deterrent for the Gyarados, because if you burn it, it has no way to...
get it off.
To regain the attack, yeah. So burn. So you'd have to get 2 attack boosts to negate the burn. I actually didn't see what he did.
He's Dynamax. Oh.
Well, I didn't see the Mimikyu. So we're going to see what we're going to do with the Weezing here.
I think Mimikyu set up the Trick Room.
Okay.
Then we'll see the...
So we're going to get a Max Starfall here to try and take out the Dragapult.
What do you think Nick will do?
So I think he's assuming that Nick is going to use a Max Airstream. I don't know what into what. If I was playing here, I would assume that the Gyarados was going to Dynamax. And probably Max Airstream. And then depending on the set of the... What's it called? On the Dragapult, I don't know if it's physical or special yet. So Dragapult's special. Dragapult's going to use a Shadow Ball into the Mimikyu to try and break the disguise. So as you see here, it's just going to take some little amount of damage instead of the hit. So Gyarados is actually going to use a Waterfall. So maybe Nick figured he knew the Trick Room was going to come up, so the speed boost didn't matter.
Yeah. Which I don't think Nick...
And Dragon Ball goes down to the Max Starfall.
I don't think Nick really has a way to deal with Trick Room, right?
So Nick does not really have a way to deal with Trick Room. So an interesting thing here is that one shot from the Weezing is going to show Nick that Weezing has attack or special attack stat EVs. Do you know what EVs are?
Yeah.
So there's special attack EVs invested in it, so he knows it's not like super bulky now.
Yeah.
Because most Weezings are a tankier build.
Yeah.
So
there's the Blade Baby.
So when you see that the Weezing does that much damage, you probably know it's going to have a more offensive item on it than something like Black Sludge or a healing item.
Gotcha. Do you think Nick Dynamax is here, or?
So when I said Nick didn't really have a way to deal with Trick Room, this Ferrothorn is actually a good Pokemon to deal with Trick Room because Ferrothorn is really, 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 really slow.
Gotcha. But who's slower?
Ferrothorn is going to be the slowest Pokemon on this board.
I don't think he kills the Weezing.
Ferrothorn at level 50 has a 22 speed stat.
It's still pretty tanky, but I guess it's Dynamaxed.
So now we see weakness policy from the Weezing, which is
an item.
Makes sense because we did see that it was a very specially offensive build of it. So it makes sense that it has a move that's going to be increasing its damage output.
Yeah. Brings in the Salazzle here. Salazzle.
So if I'm Nick here, I would like to see a Protect coming from this Ferrothorn here.
Do you think he does?
To try and counter the Heat Wave that you know is 100% coming from the Salazzle. I don't know if we'll see that. So Nick protects here.
Okay.
So he's going to try and kill the Salazzle, but we do know the Salazzle has a Focus Sash. And again, Gyarados resists the Fire type move.
Yeah, I'd hope so. How long does Trick Room
Trick Room lasts for 5 turns. Did he Trick Room? I didn't even see it.
Yeah, he did with Mimikyu a couple turns ago. So it should be wearing off soon.
That's where being in the actual spectator mode is very helpful.
What do you mean?
Well, there's Nintendo implemented a spectator mode that you can do, but like most of their online features, it's quite buggy.
Oh.
But then you can actually navigate, we could have a switch here and we could navigate through just like you would click on it, like when you're playing you can click on the summary and stuff and you can actually...
That's pretty cool. Did Nick Dynamax yet?
Nick did not Dynamax yet. So we might be looking to see the G-Max Charizard coming out here.
I think that's what we will see.
I don't know what Pokemon Nick... So Nick's got no Pokemon left in the back, so the Ferrothorn is probably certainly going down here. So he might want to just try and protect again.
Yeah, you can
see if he gets a 33% chance to keep it alive.
How'd you get that number from?
Every time you use Protect in succession, it decreases by 66%. So the first time you use Protect, it's 100% chance you get Protect. If you use it again, it's 1/3.
So you used it twice already?
But he knows he's going, he knows the only way that the Ferrothorn lives here is if he just gets that Protect off. So there's no reason not to go for it, because if he goes for attack, he's going slower and he's just dying anyway. But again, and that's a safe attack there. So if he didn't see that the Weezing was very powerful before, he probably doesn't make that attack because it would have been bulkier and not be able to kill it, and you would take out the Salazzle instead. But because Nick knows he can take out the Weezing there, he does the save point and takes out the Weezing.
And now here comes the Mudsdale. Which do you think?
So Mudsdale is probably going to be able to just completely stonewall this Charizard here. Mudsdale has an Assault Vest on it, which is an item that says if you have all your moves as attacking moves, so you have no like effect, no status moves, your special defense is increased by 50%.
That's crazy.
So I would imagine that this Mudsdale, in addition to that, has probably some special defense EV investment. It's a very bulky Pokemon.
As you were saying before, you hit it with a Solar Beam and it did like negative damage.
So it is definitely a bad spot to be in to have your only Pokemon left be a special attacker and then have a Mudsdale with an Assault Vest on it.
Yeah, that Mudsdale is definitely, you brushed off that attack pretty easily.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for this game.
Yeah. At least we get a nice game 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, the biggest key to this matchup for Nick is probably he needs to make sure he can line up his Gyarados with Seo's Mudsdale.
Okay.
So, like that's basically the game plan for both players.
Mm-hmm.
Is Seo's trying to knock out the Gyarados, and then let his Mudsdale come in and finish it off, and Nick's trying to make sure he can line his Gyarados up with the Mudsdale to kill it. Like
that makes sense.
So those are the game plans for both players.
Okay. Getting a nice shot of Nick's chest air right there. He almost got serious. He was just playing the first 2 games. Now he's really gonna.
So we might look to see Nick actually put the Gyarados in the back this game.
Okay.
The Ferrothorn also is probably able to kill the Mudsdale in a 1v1. But the problem with Ferrothorn is 4 times weak to fire, and the Salazzle is just going to kill it. So it's really, really dangerous to bring the Ferrothorn in this matchup. Because if you guess wrong and you just send the Ferrothorn out into the Salazzle...
Is this Theo's first time here?
You're in bad shape. No, he was here last week.
Okay. I'd say that would have been pretty funny, too.
Yeah. No, he's a friend of mine from way back in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Days.
Terrible game that is.
So we see Nick's leading Indeedee Charizard here. And putting the Gyarados in the back and the Ferrothorn. So he's putting the 2 Pokemon in the back. He's saying, I hope you don't start with Mudsdale. I hope I can get a quick KO and then bring my guy out that's going to deal with your Mudsdale.
Nick's feeling the pressure. You can see it.
So I actually, if I'm Seo here, because you kind of have Nick on the back foot here, because he has a Pokemon you have to beat, I kind of like leading with the
Whimsicott Mudsdale?
Whimsicott, Lucario, or one of the 2 combos where you're like going to just try and go all in on one of your Pokemon and sweep through the team, because Nick is, like, there's so many angles Nick has to be able to attack the team from that, like, if he picks wrong, you can just beat up your Lucario and sweep through the team.
So quiet without the music.
I know. So, another thing, like I said last time, Seo won the game, so he's sending out the same lead and telling Nick, deal with this.
Yeah, basically. So the neutralizing gas, does that get rid of the Psychic Surge?
Neutralizing gas gets rid of every Pokemon on the battlefield's ability. So, last game, Seo Dynamaxed the Weezing and just tried to get a quick KO. So,
you think he's going for the same thing?
So we'll see if he does the same thing now. That's why Nick might have this Indeedee here to try and follow me. But he's actually going to take the Weezing out.
And put in the...
We'll see. We don't know what he has in the back. So he's going to send out the Mudsdale here. And that's going to be a problem because...
Nick already selected his moves.
Yeah, so if he... It looked like he was trying to probably bait the Charizard move into the Weezing, and then switch it out. It's attacking that slot. That slot's the Mudsdale now. Mudsdale's going to resist whatever move the Charizard is and get a defense raise because it has a stamina.
Okay, that makes complete sense.
So if Nick chose the Fire move here, Charizard's G-Max Fire move prevents the other Pokemon from switching out, though.
Wildfire.
Yes.
Gotcha. So, but
I
instead
think.
he went with
Maybe
the
it doesn't.
Airstream.
Oh,
right?
no. That's not that move. It doesn't.
That Mudsdale took like a champ.
Yeah. So the problem here is if Mimikyu Trick Rooms.
I think he is.
Yep. So another issue with this Mudsdale here is that Mudsdale knows Rock Slide, and Rock Slide is 4 times effective on Charizard.
Because he's a flying fire.
Yep.
And not a dragon.
And Rock Slide hits both Pokemon, so the Follow Me is going to do nothing. So maybe you're going to see Nick here.
Go with the
So if I'm Nick, I don't think I Follow Me here because I'm almost certain a Rock Slide is coming from the Mud. So maybe you try and
guard?
Guard or Helping Hand.
But he didn't do either.
So maybe we're seeing it. Okay, so we're going to see a Dynamax from the Mudsdale, which is Nick made a good read there then because when you Dynamax it, you no longer can do the 2 target moves. So the Follow Me is actually going to redirect the move from Mudsdale here.
Okay. That's a big horse, though.
That's a big horse. So what do we see from Mudsdale? So we do see Max Rockfall, which would have been 4 times effective, but it's going to hit the Indeedee here and set up a Sandstorm. Another thing to take note of is the Sandstorm is... oh, no, I lied. Because there was no Sun out. So if there was Sun out, Sun increases Fire-type moves by 50%. But
okay.
Nick used a Tailwind and not the Max Fire.
But it doesn't matter, the Tailwind's up right now because there's a Trick Room up.
Yeah, but now he's going to Wildfire. So actually, the Trick Room was very helpful for Nick here because he went second, so his weather condition is going to be the one that stays on the on the field here.
The battle of 2 giants right now.
So Nick is going to have to find a way this turn to just have his Charizard not just die to the Mudsdale. I don't know if he has something that can do that.
I mean, Mudsdale will go first.
So I don't think that Nick has Protect on his Charizard because it wouldn't make. Well, we'll see, but it wouldn't make sense to me if he had Protect because he has Choice Specs on. So like,
oh, that's fair.
If you used your Choice Specs, oh, okay.
Which he is going for.
So the thing you have to be careful of here then is when the Dynamax ends, which it will, he's going to be locked in to that last move now. So he's going to have to switch out.
Yeah.
Because he has the Choice Specs on.
What did Choice Specs do again?
Choice Specs, it increases your special attack by 50%, but you can only use the first move you select until you switch out.
Gotcha.
But it has a strange interaction with Dynamax, which is the Choice Specs, when you're in Dynamax, it unlocks your move.
Oh,
but
so you can use a move in Dynamax, and when you go back to regular, you can use a different move.
Well, so the way it works is you're locked into a move with Choice Specs. Then when you Dynamax, it unlocks your move. But the move you use the last turn of your Dynamax. When you're small again, that is the move you're stuck with. The move that's in that move slot.
Gotcha.
So it's like kind of a strange interaction.
Makes a little sense to me.
So we saw that Grass move come out from the Parathorn and do just almost nothing to Mudsdale. Mudsdale's a very tanky Pokemon. It's very hard to deal with Mudsdale when it's not the first turn of the game. But when it is the first turn of the game, you can one-shot up with a couple things. So you definitely know that Mudsdale can't Protect. You know it. You know it has Assault Vest.
Yeah,
I know it has Assault Vest because I saw it, but Nick knows it has Assault Vest because it takes no damage. So you definitely don't have to worry about a Protect from the Mudsdale. So I think it's safe to just
attack.
To just Power Whip into it. Yeah.
And Parathorn is the slowest Pokemon on the field.
Yeah, so it's the fastest Pokemon. So it's very unfortunate that he doesn't get the kill there. So we'll see what Charizard does this turn. I'm actually curious what that last move is. Well, Charizard died.
Bye-bye, buddy boy.
Good try, Charizard.
So now we'll see the Gyarados come out.
If he has it in the back.
He did.
No, he didn't. Okay.
Just little things.
So Mimikyu's going to take damage from the Ferrothorn's Iron Barbs. So a good way to deal with the Mimikyu is because it's has the disguise and its damage is negated the first time you do it, you just let it die from incidental damage. So let it get chipped away by the Sandstorm.
Oh.
Let it get hit by the barbs from Ferrothorn. The G-Max Wildfire is good to take out the Mudsdale there. So now both players don't have their Dynamax anymore.
And I don't know what Zio's sending out.
So we'll see what the last Pokemon Sayo has is, and we'll see how it lines up with Gyarados.
Oh wait, no.
It's a Weezing.
Yeah.
We did see that.
Yeah. But he has one more? Because he only...
Yes, he has one more in the back.
Which I'm not sure. It might be that Salazzle again.
So, I don't know how many turns are left at Trick Room, but...
I think this might be the last one.
So the key is going to be getting Mimikyu off the battlefield without another Trick Room going up.
You can't Trick Room when there's already a Trick Room.
No, if you Trick Room when there's already a Trick Room up, it just ends the Trick Room, no matter how many turns are left.
Yeah, that's bad. Do you think Mimikyu can live one more?
No, Mimikyu is. So, interestingly enough, Nick goes into the Weezing here, and not the Mimikyu.
And we know the Weezing
but
has...
But Weezing has weakless policy, so I don't know if I really like that play there. Because you take a lot of damage. I think in that situation, actually, unfortunately, Nick would have had to Gyro Ball into the Mimikyu. Let the Dragon Dance happen, and then let Trick Room wear off.
Gotcha.
I think that's going to do it.
I think, see, when is it?
Well, we'll see. Nick only has the Ferrothorn left.
But there goes the Mimikyu.
Mimikyu dead. So maybe what Nick was thinking is he knew the Wildfire was going to take the Mimikyu out.
Yeah.
But...
And there goes the Trick Room.
It didn't really have to do with... in my opinion, it didn't really have to do with the Mimikyu living or dying that turn. It had to do with making sure that you don't proc the Weezing's weakness policy there. That's why I would have avoided the weakness. So it wasn't about killing them. Yeah. And you have to know the Salazzle's in the back because if you don't take Salazzle, Ferrothorn is going to run through your whole team.
Yeah. Oh, he uses the Protect to try to just bait out the Wildfire. Right?
Yeah, but it's not going to matter here. Because he's always going second.
Oh, because he's a slow.
And Weezing has a fire move too.
Oh, he's Flamethrower, right?
Yeah. So it's a good try from Nick. It's a respectable showing from coming back after a long hiatus.
I mean, from what I was told, Nick never really stopped playing, so I'm not. I'm impressed, but I'm not that impressed.
All right, that's gonna do it.
All right.
Sayo's gonna win this tournament. Cool. I like the team. I like the Salazzle.
I like that.
Good job to both of them.
Yeah, absolutely.